Have you ever had that weird feeling that someone was staring at you, and when you turned around, yep, they actually were? Or maybe you've walked into a room and instantly felt tense, like something was just off, even though no one said a word. Here's the thing, you're not crazy. You might actually have a superpower. Okay, not the kind that lets you fly or shoot lasers from your eyes, but something even stranger, the kind of superpower that science says we all secretly have, but almost no one uses. That's right. Buried deep inside our brains, our senses, and our instincts, humans carry some incredible abilities leftovers from a time when survival depended on feeling the world more than thinking about it. We're talking about powers like sensing danger before it happens, detecting emotions through smell, and even reacting faster than our conscious brain can process. But here's the twist in our modern, screen-filled, coffee-fueled lives. Most of these powers are, well, kinda useless, or at least forgotten. In this video, we're going to uncover 5 bizarre, science-backed abilities your body still has right now, but you probably don't even realize you're using them. Some will make you say, wait, I felt that others might make you laugh and go, well, that explains a lot. Either way, by the end of this video, you'll realize you are a bit of a superhero, just not the kind Marvel would hire. Let's dive into the strange world of your own hidden powers. 1. The stare detector. You can feel eyes on you. Have you ever felt that subtle itch on the back of your neck? A chill that made you glance over your shoulder and boom, someone was staring at you. This might sound like a sixth sense or a creepy coincidence, but it's actually a real neurological phenomenon called gaze detection. Your brain has an entire system designed to sense when someone is looking directly at you, even if they're behind you or slightly out of sight. Studies have shown that certain neurons in the brain's superior temporal sulcus are activated specifically by eye contact. We're wired to detect the eyes of others. It's a survival skill rooted in our evolutionary past. If someone was watching you thousands of years ago, it might have meant danger, a predator, or a rival tribe. Today, it might just be your coworker judging your lunch choice. But here's the kicker. This ability is surprisingly inaccurate. We often misread cues, especially in social settings where subtlety matters. Plus, in the age of phones, Zoom meetings, and sunglasses, our stare detector barely gets a workout. So yes, you technically have a spidey sense for being watched. It's just that it's about as useful today as a floppy disk drive on a Tesla. 2. Smelling emotions. The nose knows more than you think. Ever notice how you can sense someone's fear before they say anything, or walk into a room and instantly feel stressed for no obvious reason? Turns out, your nose might be doing some serious emotional detective work. Humans, like many animals, can pick up on chemo signals, subtle chemical cues released through sweat and body odor that communicate emotional states. Research has shown that people can smell fear, stress, even happiness on others, especially through underarm sweat. Yeah, it's gross and fascinating. In one study, people exposed to fear sweat taken from skydivers showed increased amygdala activity, the brain's fear center. Even though they had no idea what they were smelling, their bodies reacted before their brains could explain why. Unfortunately, this emotion-sniffing power is dulled by modern life. We live in a world of air fresheners, scented soaps, and antiperspirants. We deodorize away these ancient cues before we even leave the house. So while you technically have an emotional radar built into your nose, it's been out of service since your first bottle of body spray in middle school. Still, it's a fun thought next time someone says, I just had a bad vibe. They might be sniffing out sadness literally. 3. The human compass. Your body knows where north is. Picture this: you're blindfolded and spun around a few times. Then, someone asks you to point north. There's a decent chance you'll get pretty close, even if you think you're guessing. That's because the human body has its own version of a built-in compass. Inside your inner ear is a delicate structure called the vestibular system, which helps you detect motion, balance, and orientation in space. But there's more. Some studies suggest we might also have magnetoreception, the ability to sense Earth's magnetic field. Birds use it to migrate, some fish use it to navigate murky waters, and humans, well, we might have it too. But we're not exactly using it to find the nearest coffee shop. In 2019, researchers at Caltech discovered that changes in the magnetic field cause subtle shifts in human brain waves, suggesting our brains respond to magnetic cues, even if we're not conscious of it. The problem: we rely so heavily on GPS, maps, and navigation apps. This hidden ability has basically gone dormant. So yes, you have a tiny bit of pigeon in you. Unfortunately. Google Maps is faster, 4 reflexes faster than thought. Your brain's secret fast lane. Have you ever dropped your phone and somehow caught it midair before you even realized what happened? That's your subconscious reflex system at work. The human brain can process certain threats faster than conscious thought. These are called pre-conscious reflexes, and they bypass your thinking brain entirely, heading straight from your senses to your spinal cord or motor centers. In evolutionary terms, this was incredibly useful. You didn't have time to decide whether to dodge a snake or run from a saber-toothed cat. You just did it. Today, it might be more about swerving to avoid a pothole or catching a falling cup of coffee before it spills all over your keyboard. Here's what's wild. These reflexes are often more accurate and faster than your conscious decisions. Your body knows what to do, while your brain is still forming a sentence. But in our daily lives, these moments are rare. Most of our actions are slow, deliberate, and filled with emails. So this superpower often goes unnoticed until that one glorious moment when you look like a ninja catching your iPhone in midair. Then, of course, you pretend it was totally intentional. 5. Photographic memory. Sort of your mind snapshot feature. Raise your hand if you wish you had a photographic memory. Great for school, trivia nights, or remembering where you parked your car at Target. While true eidetic memory is rare, nearly all humans, especially children, have a fleeting version of it. It's called iconic memory, and it allows you to store a visual image for a brief moment after you've seen it. For example, imagine seeing a page full of random symbols for just a second. If someone asks you to recall one of the symbols from a specific spot, you might actually get it right because your brain kept a temporary snapshot. As kids, we use this kind of memory a lot, but as we grow older, we start relying more on language, logic, and patterns. The visual superpower fades away. Like a muscle we stop training. That doesn't mean it's gone. With techniques like the method of loci memory palaces or mind mapping, some people can reawaken their visual memory skills. Mental athletes use them to memorize decks of cards, digits of pi, or lists of presidents backward. But for most of us, that skill is rusting in a corner of the brain next to Algebra 2. Bonus: the weirdest power. Goosebumps on command. Here's a bonus one for the extra nerds. Did you know some people can give themselves goosebumps on purpose? It's called voluntary piloerection, and it's extremely rare. These people can activate the tiny muscles at the base of their hairs, usually triggered by cold or fear, by sheer willpower. No chill playlist required. We're still not sure why or how this works. But hey, if you ever meet someone who says, "Watch this," and then goosebumps appear, be impressed, even if it's absolutely useless at parties. So, why don't we use these powers? All these strange abilities come from a time when being human meant living in the wild, hunting, gathering, and surviving. Today, we're different. We've traded raw instinct for smartphone notifications, emotional sniffing for emojis, and reaction time for reply time. But that doesn't mean the powers are gone. They're just hidden under layers of modern convenience. Like an old dusty superhero costume in the attic, we've forgotten what we're capable of. So, maybe you can't fly, turn invisible, or read minds. But hidden beneath your modern-day habits are abilities that once helped your ancestors survive jungles, predators, and tribal life. You can sense someone watching you. You can smell emotions. Your body can react faster than your brain. It's almost poetic, these quiet, forgotten powers still humming in the background while we scroll, type, and rush through daily life. The truth is, our bodies and minds are far more amazing than we give them credit for. We've just stopped listening. So here's a little challenge: slow down. Pay attention. Next time you get that strange feeling, pause before you brush it off. That gut instinct, that subtle vibe. that coincidence of catching something midair. Maybe it's not nothing. Maybe it's your inner superhero, quietly showing up when you least expect it. Because sometimes, the most incredible powers aren't the flashy ones. They're the silent skills we all carry, and just might rediscover if we look.